My parents uploaded my photo with a smug caption, "James can't wait to surprise his brother with a cabin for his 21st birthday." They thought they had cornered me, forced me into their little scheme. But at the lodge, with everyone watching, I raised my glass for a toast. The moment I spoke my first words, their faces drained of color, because they finally realized the gift wasn't what they expected. "You ungrateful bastard!" Father's voice cracked like thunder in the wooden lodge. The table rattled as his hand slammed flat against it, shaking the glasses. Rowan leaned forward, 21 and smug with youth, his grin more venom than humor. "Why don't you just admit it, James? You can't stand me having something you don't." Evelyn scoffed, her wine sloshing as she waved a careless hand. "God, this is pathetic. He ruins every family moment, every single one." Mother whispered, "Please stop, please." But her voice was thin, swallowed by the storm. I sat at the far end of the table, quiet as always. I didn't move, didn't blink. And then Father turned to me, finger jabbing like a knife. "This is on you, James. You wanted to ruin tonight." The laughter that followed from my brother, my sister, stung sharper than the words. "My name is James Calder, 26, the invisible son. The quiet one they used like a drawer everyone forgets about, until they need something out of it. I've been their scapegoat since childhood. If something broke, it was my fault. If money went missing, they checked my pockets. If the air was too heavy, it was because I brought the mood down. Tonight, they thought I'd stay silent again, that I'd let them twist me into the villain while they played their parts. But silence is not weakness. Silence is storage. And I've been storing a lot. Family members introduced. Rowan, youngest, 21, handsome, careless. Every bad choice he made was boys being boys. His smirk was armor, and his parents polished it for him. Evelyn, oldest, 30, razor tongue. She never spoke without slicing someone open first. Even now she leaned against her chair like she owned the room. Father, Mark, late 50s, built like a wall, voice heavy like a hammer. A man who mistook control for love. His words always came down as final, until tonight. Mother, Claire, mid-50s, soft, shrinking. She didn't fight, she patched. Her hands shook as she reached for glasses, tissues, anything to keep from looking at me too long. Every word they spat at me tonight was familiar. I'd been trained for it since I could walk, but I wasn't the same boy they thought I was. Evelyn leaned forward, pointing at me like she'd spotted a rat. "He couldn't even keep the surprise quiet. He always ruins everything." Rowan snorted. "Of course he did. Jealousy doesn't look good on you, James." My father chuckled darkly. "He'll never grow up. Always bitter, always empty." I finally spoke, voice low but sharp enough to cut through. "Funny, I didn't say a word, not until now." Rowan's grin cracked. "Then what's this about? Why does the gift feel more like a punishment?" And that's when the word slipped out of his mouth, like he'd tripped over truth. "Debt." The room went still. Debt wasn't supposed to be said out loud. I saw Father's face harden, his lips pressed thin. He knew the word was poison. And I was ready to feed it to them. Evelyn laughed, bitter and sharp. "So this is your grand surprise? Hand Rowan a cabin with a mortgage wrapped around it? That's not love. That's a leash," Mother whispered. "It wasn't supposed to—" "Quiet, Claire," Father snapped. My sister's glare turned toward me. "I bet James knew. He probably told Rowan. He's always desperate to tear things down." I leaned forward, calm, steady. "You're right. I did know. I've known for a long time. About more than just this cabin." Their faces shifted. Mother froze. Evelyn blinked. Rowan tilted his head. Father's jaw clenched. For the first time in years, the room tilted toward me. And they didn't like it. 15. I remember the cold of the bank lobby, the smell of carpet cleaner, the way Father's hand pressed down on my shoulder. "Sign it, James. You're old enough. They'll believe you." I was too young to know, too scared to fight. So I signed. My name, dragged into loans, debts, agreements I never understood. I watched Rowan unwrap his first car at 16, a bow on the hood. Watched Evelyn's tuition get paid in full while I worked nights to cover books. Watched father drink and gamble away what was supposed to be investments. And mother? She was always there, watching, pretending she didn't see the weight pressed onto me. The wound wasn't just the papers I signed, it was the silence they forced into me. Rowan's voice cracked now. You used James's name? For this place too? Evelyn's laughter cut the air. Of course he did. He's been milking James dry for years. Watch your mouth, Father growled. I set my glass down, the clink echoing in the tense silence. Not just the cabin. The house almost lost 3 years ago. The accounts, the loans. My name is inked on every one of them. Rowan froze. Evelyn's smirk faded. Then I turned to Mother. And she's known the whole time. Her sob wasn't denial. It was confession. Her eyes wouldn't meet mine. That was the crack that split the room. Shouting tore through the lodge. Rowan cursed, veins in his neck straining. You dragged him into this! You dragged me into this! Father roared. Don't talk to me like that! Evelyn slammed her glass down, shards scattering. You destroyed him, Mark! You destroyed all of us! And I raised my glass slowly, calmly, as if the chaos was background noise. I gave you all my silence, I said, voice even, steady. Tonight, I give you the truth. For once, no one interrupted. Evelyn's voice cracked, softer than I'd ever heard it. Maybe James isn't the villain here. Maybe he's the only one who's been honest. The room was burning, but I didn't feel the heat anymore. I stood before they could drag me back into their storm. The night air outside was sharp, cutting clean through me. I let it. Behind me, the voices tangled, shouts, sobs, accusations. But they weren't mine to carry anymore. Mother followed me out, clutching her sweater tight. James, please, I wanted to tell you. I wanted to... I shook my head. You wanted peace, and you got it, at my cost. Her hand reached, trembling, then dropped. I walked away, her silence following me down the gravel path. For the first time, I felt light. Weeks passed. The cabin sat empty, a for sale sign tilted in the wind. Rowan texted once. I didn't know. I'm sorry. Evelyn called twice. You were right. Father never reached out. Mother wrote a letter. Pages of apologies, regrets, memories. I folded it once and put it in a drawer. Not to forgive, not to forget, just to keep. Proof that silence wasn't mine anymore. Driving past that cabin one last time, I whispered to the window, for the first time I don't carry their weight. And that was enough. When I was younger, I thought staying quiet meant keeping peace. But the truth? Silence only made me their shield. Every broken thing, every lie, every debt, my name carried it. Tonight, I finally spoke. And in their faces, I saw what silence had been hiding all these years. Fear, guilt, regret. Do I feel free? Yes. Do I forgive them? I don't know. That part takes time. But let me ask you, if you were in my place, sitting at that table, would you forgive them? Or would you walk away forever? Tell me in the comments. Your voice matters here. Hit like if you felt James's pain and his freedom. Subscribe for more real human stories, because silence doesn't heal. Sharing does.